Hello everyone, this is the Leech, bringing you a Terran vs Terran from the Korean ladder today. Between the blue Terran here, LiquidJinro in the bottom left position of Xel'Naga Caverns, and the red Terran, OxfOu. And I have never actually heard of Ox, but he is part of the FOU clan, which stands for Our Utopia, a very prominent Korean team. So I've been casting a lot of Team Liquid games today, and I'm going to try and bring as many as I can stand to cast today. I've already done some by Huck, and doing some now by Jinro, and I might do some by Tyler later, as these guys are very exciting to watch, and they're all very great players. So Terran vs Terran on this map usually comes down to some interesting play here. FOU is actually creating a wall off at the bottom of his ramp. It looks like that first supply depot coming down here. So we'll see what kind of interesting strategy he's going to be coming into here. And he does have his next SCV rallied all the way over here, so that is interesting. We could be seeing some sort of crazy rush by him. Jinro now laying down his barracks at this location, just a very normal spot, throwing a supply depot down here to prevent any blue flame hellion or anything like that. Later on, the harass can just be stopped right in its place here. And I think we might be seeing a Thor rush here from FOU. That's what would make sense. He's come down with his barracks right now, and I can see him building a factory and an army over here, so it's not scattered. But he doesn't have any gas yet, so I'm probably wrong there. Might just be seeing a big barracks rush by him. But he's obviously trying to hide things. Yep, there's another barracks there. Jinro's starting to move out here to scout. And he's going to get up to that base and see that something appears to be a little bit off, as the orbital command here should be a little bit delayed for FOU, or Ox even. I might just keep calling him FOU because it's easier for me. There's the orbital command for Jinro, and that second barracks is about to complete, or about halfway done now. And Jinro actually sneaking right through here, so this wall off was not complete, and Jinro was able to come right up into the base. So kind of a mistake by Ox there, and Ox has to be a little bit upset about that, as Jinro's going to come in and see that orbital command is later than his and possibly wonder what is happening. The Marine of FOU, though, is going to come up here and chase away Jinro's SCV here any moment. And this barracks is now finished, and he's rallying these Marines to the Xel'Naga tower at this location, so I'm not sure if he's actually going to try to do a rush, maybe try and do a contain on Jinro. This Marine is going to finish off Jinro's SCV, though, right now. And factory now coming down for Jinro at this location, so you can get a little scouting of the low ground as well. And Marines just continue to be pumped out right now for Jinro. So a few Marines now coming out, and this barracks actually lifted off and landed again, so I'm not sure what FOU is trying to do there. 2 Marines out now for FOU, with a third one on the way, but Jinro already has 3 Marines as well. And here's a 4th on the way now for FOU. And FOU just now getting his first gas, so that's kind of telling. And here's the fast expand by FOU, so that's what he was trying to lead into by getting those 2 barracks. And here comes some pressure with 3 Marines and an SCV. This SCV of Jinro is going to be taken down, but FOU is going to be in for a rude awakening here if he tries to push in. There's a bunker coming down and 4 Marines here by Jinro, so FOU is not going to be able to do any damage. He's probably going to pull back before he takes too much damage, though. And he is going to see all these Marines here and decide that is not a good idea. But if he can just delay the expansion at all by Jinro, he's going to be at a pretty big advantage, especially since he created his expansion at this location right on the minerals. So FOU just continuing to just push up a little bit here, going to take out quite a few Marines of Jinro, and so Jinro is probably going to be wanting to hold back for a little bit now. And Jinro really needs to come up and scout this expansion fairly soon, so he knows to expand as well. But Jinro is starting to get tanks out, so this could be interesting. This barracks is lifted off here. I'm assuming he's going to be pulling it back to this position and just create this natural wall off here. FOU now also coming down with a factory, and he does have that second refinery right now. Jinro is a little bit ahead on supply, but that is to be expected, as FOU did go with that expansion, and FOU is actually going to use that barracks to scout that he built in the proxy location. Jinro's coming up here trying to scout as well, and here comes the barracks by FOU. We'll see what he's actually able to see. He is going to see this factory right off the bat. With the tech lab, he's going to have to assume siege tanks, and Jinro, though, scouts the expansion, and this SCV is even going to get away without getting touched. So very nice move by him. This barracks is going to go down eventually for FOU, but actually it's flying pretty fast, so it might be able to get away. He is going to see this reactor barracks, though, and he did see that siege mode coming down and the siege tank, so he has a pretty good idea of what's going on. Thing is, FOU is going to have to prepare for a push now, as Jinro knows that he has fast expanded. Jinro is going to want to go kill him, basically. It takes a while for you to actually make some money off of your expansion, though with mules and orbital commands it goes a lot quicker. Reactor now coming down for OxfOu, so it looks like he's possibly going to be going the same type of build as Jinro. And OxfOu now throwing down an armory as well. And Hellions are actually starting to come out, so very interesting play by him. We'll see if he decides to stick with that. Expansion now starting to get saturated. He needs to do a little transfer, and here it comes now. There's the transfer, and here comes the push, though, by Jinro. Jinro with 2 tanks, a large group of Marines, and 5 SCVs to repair these tanks, and siege mode is finished. So OxfOu needs to scout this, and he needs to get to these tanks before they siege up. If they are able to siege up in his base, that's going to be huge. And here comes Jinro now, and I don't think that OxfOu is going to be able to stop this. Bunkers now coming down. Jinro's just going to go for a contain and a very slow push into the base of OxfOu. These barracks continuing to come through here and scout. One Marine's going to chase it off again. And here comes some more siege tanks by Jinro, and Jinro's continuing to push up, building a bunker here. OxfOu trying to build some bunkers as well. And Jinro is finally going to get a bunker down out of reach. Nope, it's not out of reach. So Jinro keeps trying to throw down bunkers. Hopefully he's canceling those. I'm not actually able to tell. These Marines of Jinro here able to just position themselves in a decent way. There is lots of SCVs repairing this bunker, but these siege tanks are going to eventually kill it. Jinro's just going to continue moving up these siege tanks and continue to do damage. OxfOu is getting Thors out. One Thor is out, and it's going to come in and start trying to kill all these units here. OxfOu's actually going to salvage this bunker, and all these Marines are going to get blasted by the siege tank. That's a huge loss. An empty bunker here is going to be lost, and lots of SCVs being pulled. Jinro, though, getting all of the siege tanks in siege mode. All these SCVs trying to repair this Thor. It's not going to be enough, though. These siege tanks are going to kill this Thor eventually. And yes, there goes the Thor now, and Jinro's going to take this game with a beautiful timing push, knowing that this expansion was down, and just continue to push in here. This orbital command needs to be lifted off a little late there, and we'll see if OxfOu's not going to give up that easily. He does have 700 minerals, and he is now finally using them up. Another Thor coming out here right now, but really 3 siege tanks, lots of Marines, barracks going down now for OxfOu that's on fire. Just lost one of them and gonna lose the second one as well. Jinro sees the Thor here on the ramp, and really OxfOu is just going to start getting so many minerals that he's not going to be able to use them. He's going to start trying to reproduce all his production facilities. 2 barracks coming down and a starport coming down for OxfOu right now. Jinro, though, has to be feeling very confident right now. He has bunkers up, he has tanks up, and his contain is going to be held for quite a while. The reactor going down, and I assume Jinro's going to start moving these up, a little bit farther up to this position, and maybe even getting some air units out to see the high ground, but he still doesn't have a starport up. So the expansion of Jinro has been started, and he's starting it in his domain. He's going to start floating it down. This orbital command is going to start trying to fly down, and Jinro's just going to be scanning and starting to hit up on that high ground. Thor is going to go down, and maybe even a second Thor. Jinro just continuing to do damage here. Has 20 supply higher, and when it's 56 to 36, that is very telling. Very telling of how this game is probably going to go. OxfOu is going to try and land this orbital command here and just kind of sneak it in, but Jinro just has such a beautiful contain going on right now. This Thor is the only thing that really OxfOu has for an army, and OxfOu has 700 minerals that he's unable to use right now. Now has a siege tank out, trying to get siege mode. If Jinro decides to just unsiege all these tanks and rush up, though, he's going to be able to win. He can just simply rush up and kill that Thor. So we'll see if he's going to decide to do that. Nope, he's just going to slowly move up some units here. And really, he needs to make a move quick, though. Cloak Banshees are going to be coming out for OxfOu. He knows he needs to do something tricky to come back here. Starting to get SCVs out at this expansion. And they're going to continue taking down supply depots here, so OxfOu having to spend a lot of money on that. Still sitting around the 700 supply or mineral range, though. Scans now coming up for Jinro, and Jinro is going to be able to take down that tank and some Marines as well. Lots of Marines being taken out, and SCV is going to be repairing this bunker here. Still so many siege tanks. OxfOu does have the advantage of the low ground, and is actually going to be floating up a barracks here, but Jinro decides to just run in, and he is going to do a lot of damage here. More Marines going to just continue running in, and the siege tanks are going to be blasting away at this Thor. And Jinro separates his Marines. Very nice move there to make sure that the siege tank doesn't just demolish all of them. And the siege tanks now can almost safely continue moving up right now. One barracks is lifted, so OxfOu's not going to be able to create as many things there. One cloaked Banshee is going to be out very shortly, though. So Jinro really needs to save up a scan. He does not have one right now, and Cloak is going to be up in just a moment. Cloak is actually finished right now, so OxfOu might actually be able to make a miracle comeback right now. This Cloak Banshee is being shot right now, but once again, it doesn't have that cloak, so Jinro's going to have to pack up and go home probably. or at least be a lot more weary of what he's doing here. Now this base starting to get saturated. 2 refineries down here, but only 1 guy in each geyser, so OxfOu needs to get some more fellas in there working. Jinro has not floated this down to the bottom yet, and this cloaked Banshee is now in his base doing mass damage because he did not have any towers down. And if Jinro loses this game, that is going to be really unfortunate. Scan coming down though, and is he going to be able to kill? Yes, he does kill off that Banshee. I was actually selecting the supply depot on accident there. Jinro pulling back all of his forces to this location. Another Banshee starting to come out here. Jinro is actually tied up now on supply, so that's really unfortunate that that happened. He should have been a little bit more prepared. He knows that OxfOu was on one leg, and he should have known that Cloaked Banshees were a very good possibility. 1 Banshee still sitting over here, and OxfOu is actually taking the lead in the supply now. Did sneak down this expansion successfully, and Jinro never scouted it, so this Banshee is going to continue moving out, and he really can attack from 2 different locations right here, but Jinro does have towers down now. But really, it's going to be a very interesting game. A 3rd command center coming down for OxfOu right now. Stim coming down for Jinro, as well as Marine Shields and a Raven. And this Banshee coming in, trying to do some damage. Just going to start getting shot by that turret and decide it can back up. But he can still hit a lot of SCVs from here because there's only 1 turret. Now, if Jinro does bring in this Viking, then he's going to have to run away. Or he's going to die if he's not paying attention. And Jinro is not going to be able to finish him off there. And OxfOu now continuing to make siege tanks. Taking a look at the unit counting station, we'll see 5 siege tanks for Jinro to 3 for OxfOu. 2 Banshees out though, and this Raven is going to help this Viking finish off this last Banshee here. OxfOu just creating, trying to protect his 2 bases, and he's in an awkward position right now because he has this hidden base. Defending it, if Jinro finds it, is going to be very difficult. Jinro's kind of in a better position because his bases are right next to each other, so these siege tanks really can defend here. OxfOu though starting to move out. He is about 10 supply ahead, almost 15 supply ahead. He is getting a 3rd orbital command right now at this location. And here come the units now. There is a Raven out though, and Jinro does have more siege tanks, so Jinro is going to be at a huge advantage, though that Thor can scare away that Viking and Raven. So the Banshee is going to continue to come in. Jinro using a scan and taking down a lot of the siege tanks of OxfOu, and he takes down that last one as well. So this Thor might go down. It's starting to get away actually. This Thor is so close to dead. Jinro really needs to take it down, and OxfOu trying to move in some Marines here, but Jinro having Stim and Marauders and Marines able to fend him off here. And actually, Jinro does not have Stim. I thought he did. My mistake. Jinro's unsieging, deciding he can just push in here. Takes out another siege tank, and all these Marines are going to pull back to this expansion here. 3rd going down for OxfOu, so Jinro really needs to find out about this very soon. Straven's almost said he needs to repair that. It is 1 shot from dead right now from just about anything. We'll see where these units decide to go now. OxfOu just going to continue to bring units down here and try to just hold his 2nd expansion here. Jinro, I'm quite sure he does not know about this still. We take a look. Jinro, yeah, completely in the dark there, so he really does not know that that's going on. Going back to the everyone view, Jinro might come up here, do a lift, and just jump into the main here. OxfOu would not be ready for that. He is too busy trying to get set up down here where he is set up, and Jinro is going to be dropping into the main while OxfOu is running down with Marines at this location. But there is a siege tank here, and it's probably going to pull back all those Marines. Lots of Marines being dropped in here, and beautiful siege tank placement by Jinro. Jinro really has units defended right now, and he's starting to do damage to the starport. 2 Vikings coming out at a time. If he's able to finish that off before they finish, that's going to be huge. Jinro stimming, taking out the siege tank here, so huge move by him, and pulling back 2 his siege tanks where OxfOu is going to start getting melted away. And a starport goes down with 2 Vikings being made. And a 4th base coming down for OxfOu. So OxfOu just trying to just barely survive and keep making bases here, but Jinro is destroying everything now, like he should have done the first time. Jinro continuing to move in, starting to do damage to this factory, and Jinro having these 5 siege tanks here, he really could move them almost into this base now, but that is a huge commitment. So that 4th base still coming down for OxfOu. OxfOu starting to get some siege tanks down here to defend himself. There's a Banshee OxfOu being taken out by the Viking of Jinro, and Jinro is going to scan and probably finish off that Viking. Yes, he will, with 3 Stim Marines as well. So OxfOu does have this base very well saturated. It's not completely saturated, but Jinro's pushing his main, so he has bigger problems than that. And Jinro does have this orbital command on fire. OxfOu is not going to be able to repair that. That's just going to die. Jinro just sticking a 2 base, very standard play to OxfOu's kind of tricky movements there. OxfOu does WW and or GG, but yeah, so kind of going for some tricky, cutesy play there by trying to mass expand, but Jinro just played very standard, was able to hold it off. At the very beginning, it looked like Jinro might lose, but he was able to get turrets up in time to defend himself, and I guess he wasn't close to losing, but he was at a disadvantage there for a while when the Cloak Banshees came out, and I felt like he should have been ready for that a little better. He was using scans a lot to get some siege tank hits in, but it ended up working out for him in the end.